Hello there guys, how are we all doing today? We're going to be heading into the first Challenger Division game of, well, for us to watch. It is Invictus Gaming versus 14 Esports on Inferno. What do you think as we head into this one, Charlie?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really exciting one between these two teams. Neither of them exactly in a greatest spot in the league so far. 2-3 record, so both of them really do need to turn their season round. And one of them is going to advance a bit more close to that playoffs today, Fred.
Yeah, obviously, we talk about how these kind of regular seasons, how usually in the past maybe a 5-3 was viable, but it's going to maybe come down to round difference. So one of these teams, potentially, it could be their kind of chance for playoffs over here. I feel like a fourth loss might be a little bit too far for them to kind of handle, but should be a good one. Obviously, you mentioned with kind of similar records, we're kind of going to be expecting quite a hot contest game, and we're pretty much just going straight into the action now, Charlie. So not really much more time for us to talk about it. Should be a good one, though. I believe we do have... Yeah, we do have Invictus starting on that CT side. So that should be good to see. Obviously, map like Inferno, I feel like it always just comes down to personal preference. A lot of teams, they do show that dominance on both sides, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. On Inferno, it does feel like we've seen plenty of times both sides being able to dominate, and it does feel like obviously CT side is probably what most teams are comfortable with. So we'll sort of just tend to see if that's going to be the trend in this game as well.
Yeah, definitely. Quite a passive pistol round so far. 14. Going to be leaning towards the B bomb site as we do have PR rotating in now. Util coming through. Quite a lot of Util sent here from the side of 14. Face crack though drops the flash, swings on through, but no one's out in the open yet. The contingency plan here for 14 Esports. Nice initial flashbang. Need to try and take down this player on the back of the bomb site, but they do so successfully. Both Moore and Face crack have been eliminated. 5 versus 3 here. We do see Davkos looking for the spam, and no bullets connected, and now we see the T's push on through. Davkos needs to be ready here. Nice jiggle. Keeps himself alive for a second longer, but swings a little too far. And a 2 versus 5 that Mini and Meztal just going to be saving.
Yeah, and he's trying to keep that armor alive, but good looking round from 14. They're actually going for a little bit of a hunt. Meztal's able to find one before backing away further, but you can also see some of these T's really start to close in on them.
They just don't even want to give them anything to work with. Not even armor in the next. Mini does find one, but instant trade from Watson. 14, they kick this round off very nicely. Hopefully it's a good sign of things to come for them. But I like how they played that pistol round. Obviously, they sent out a lot of utility, and they decided not to face early. They allowed to wait for Invictus's counter utility because they knew it was going to come through. A flashbang waiting to land in pool. And I like the playstyle behind it. No need to rush. You've still got another, minute or so on the clock. Don't really need to force any fights, and essentially what yielded them the round.
Yeah, Force Buy is coming through from Invictus, though. Bit of a mixed bag of weapons. 2 Deagles, SMG, Scout, and obviously that Mag 7. But the Mag 7 gets eliminated instantly. They seemed very aware of that, Fred.
Yeah, definitely.
Possibility that there's going to be a Mag towards the half wall. So just instantly double nade on it, and Face Crack gets eliminated from the round.
Well, yeah, we talk about Inferno being one of the only maps really viable with the Mag 7. And obviously half wall, it's kind of its best position. So they don't even want to give it the chance. 3 nades, whether it's a Mag 7, it could have been a 5.7, it could have been any other assortment of close range weapon. Playing behind that half wall, it can be a real power position, so they just send it with utility. And it's nice to see. Great opener. And now they're going to be sending things onto the bomb site. So aware from Bloods. We do see a frag found from Meztal on the scout. We obviously still have more towards Dark on the back of the bomb site. Oh, Meztal finds another. Oh, he's found a third in this round. 2 through the smoke.
There was a chance there. Davkos could have caught out Riz towards mid as they are rotating. No surprises. They want to leave wherever Meztal's sort of lurking. They do take down Davkos. Had another opportunity to find a frag there onto Watts.
Meztal does have somewhat of a chance here. MP9 in hand. Swings through the molly. Oh, he's on for the ace. Just needed to spot out Watts there. 24 HP, but a great 4K from Meztal. A real valiant effort, but not enough. Watts just coming in clutch at the end there. I wonder what we see here from Invictus, though. They know the money is going to be poor on the side of 14. We saw them you know, bring it very close in the last, I feel like they could opt for a back-to-back force here. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. M4 out on Meztal. We've got Davkos on the scout.
Yeah, obviously the M4 can be bought out just due to the amount of money that Meztal would have made in that previous round. Pushing down Banana. Face crack gets punished early, but mid aggression comes through as well. At the end of the sort of firefights, I suppose. 14 are the team that come out on top, but a couple of their players a little worse for wear. Yeah, obviously, there's a real risk in this round for Invictus to go for the force, but obviously if it does pay off, they can get straight back into the game. Money's not perfect on the side of 14. Only really Watts is sitting with anything that significant in the reserve.
Obviously, Meztal had such a heroic last round. Needs to kind of replicate that in this one. Obviously, it has that lone M4. But gambling 2 players towards A, just leaving more to defend the B-bomb site. Things are going to be a bit tough here. Best case scenario, Moore finds one and able to keep himself alive. But he has been spotted. We'll drop the smoke and 14 potentially are going to respect it. We're going to have a fast flank from Meztal. And he could catch off so many bodies here. Finds the first, but opts against swinging onto the rest. I think the right call to be made as well. Oh, all these steps are going to be heard here. Mini's got all this information. Rotation's going to be coming back through. Meztal does get checked though. The M4 has gone down, but Mini's on a very fast flank hit. If they opt to plant towards default, that's where Mini can shine. But does find one. Scout in hand now. Jiggles out, but does get taken down by PR.
Both these players are very low. Obviously, Moore isn't sitting on that much health themselves, but M4 in hand, it is around that. It's doable.
Just going to be saving though. Devastating. Obviously, Moore has to kind of assume that the health on these players is going to be at least half. I feel like you can't really be all too sure, all too confident that they're both low, especially if some of the damage would have been a little bit unconfirmed. But either way, Moore not too confident. I feel like potentially you do go for a round like this. It's going to be an eco in the next for Invictus. Potentially, you know, you just bite the bullet, decide to take the risk and go for the round, and then you really have a chance. I feel like the M4, it might have some impact in the next, but is it going to be enough to win the round? Possibly not. Maybe we should have seen a bit of a clutch attempt there.
Yeah, you understand it from both sides, but either way, Invictus will have an M4 to play with in this round. Obviously, the loss bonus is going to be at max for the CT side, so they can invest a little bit around it.
Yeah, ever so slightly, the Mag 7 once again in play with 3 Deagles by its side as well. So things can still work out well for the side of Invictus, but 14, their protocols against these eco rounds have been pretty strong. They were ready for that mid aggression. They were kind of prepared for that B aggression in the last. So it seems as though 14, they're ready for whatever Invictus are going to be throwing at them. But are they going to be ready for this A stack? I like the call here from Invictus. Just gamble towards A, leave the M4 and 3 smoke grenades towards B. This can work out quite nicely. We need to see some crisp D headshots.
Here's the sort of call that needs to be made on a round like this, a risk.
But I think maybe even you gamble kind of one step further. You keep the M4 towards A, just leave a Deagle to defend B. Oh, Meztal fires off that shot through the smoke. Takes down Shelzy. The Mag 7's come alive as it finds one. Davkos with the D, gets one of his own. Bloods, though, with a lot of work to do here. 2 versus 4 now. Watts goes down, and now it's all on Bloods. We mentioned a gamble call sometimes can be so successful here, and it's worked out well. 20 HP on Bloods. Going to need the ace to clutch this out on a 1 versus 4. Does have the bomb, but it's going to be a near impossible round.
Yeah, these are all weapons that can be retrieved now from Invictus. There is an AK on the floor, and does finally get picked up by Davkos. So they go into this round with 1 M4, and right now they're going to be leaving it with 4 rifles.
Yeah, potentially we could see the AWP in the next as well. Davkos should have enough to bring one out.
This is where the question marks set in for 14. What do they do? It's an important weapon to be saved on Bloods, just to keep them having another rifle at least in the next. But look at the rest of the team's money. It's in a really awkward situation.
Yeah, I don't even know if Riz can buy in the next. Obviously, Blood's in a similar situation. Maybe a force has to be called here. Potentially get out a Tech 9, send Riz in first. I feel like the situation that they've got themselves in is a tough one. And obviously it comes off the back of, you know, these close initial rounds.
Yeah, surprisingly, the M4 had 0 impact.
Yeah,
it was just the Deagles, it was the gamble call, but obviously you do have that safety net of having more on that B side with all those smokes, like you mentioned, obviously the M4 as well. So yeah, it is that safety net that allows for Invictus to gamble for towards A.
And I think as well, it's quite disappointing from the side of 14 because they were ready for the boost. They kind of pre-fired it, dealt some damage, but potentially they weren't aware of that, and then just overlooked the position, allowed Mestal to find a frag, and then kind of everything spiraled out of control from there. We saw, I believe it was Mini on the Mag 7 towards Apartments find a kill, and it seemed as though every situation that 14 were in that round, it just seemingly just didn't go their way. And I feel like, yeah, that's generally how these eco rounds are won, but for a side that have been so cautious and so kind of calculated, it was interesting to see that round go so wrong for them.
Damage traded towards Banana. It certainly, well, was going the way of Invictus. Face Crack is getting pressured, but he's up against a low HP Galil, so easy find there. Very risky push for 14, considering the health of Shelzy.
Yeah, obviously they did send out the flash, but Face Crack just hiding behind sandbags. Simple swing. Yeah, potentially we needed someone else to go through that smoke, get the trade, keep things level. And look what they've got to work with. Yes, we got 2 AKs, but utility's not going to be perfect. Disadvantaged. Luckily, they are leaning towards the unfavored site, as there is just Face Crack as that lone defender. Might just continue to operate as the lone defender. That's fine. One rotation surely will come through now. Spam's looking good for Face Crack, but surely going to go down here. Although the flash is somewhat strong, doesn't really affect Riz.
Ooh,
a lot of damage.
Huge damage dealt by Mestal. Can't take down the bomb planter, but sets his team up in a really nice position to be able to convert this round.
Yeah, in Invictus, they're going to take this one slow. Got a lot of utility. Nades, flashes can be sent. Mestal finds one before going down. And Mini holding the lines. So Invictus, they string the rounds together. They keep 2 alive. The money's looking fairly strong for them. And an expected eco from the side of 14 as well. So although we had that initial success from the side of 14 Esports, now the guns are out. Seemingly Invictus, they're happy in their situation right now. They're looking strong.
I like the attempt there from 14, the sort of post-plant setup that they had, but they really were relying on nobody going down initially. The fact that it was the player towards Coffins, it just left the final player tucked towards second orange. They know exactly where he is, no escaping that.
Yeah, I feel like potentially we could have seen either a stack or a bit of a bait and switch. It seemed as though it was just kind of 2 individuals playing different angles but both holding the same lines. It did make it really tough because not only, you know, Mestal found one, but he got that information on the other, as you mentioned. Nice opening pick though. Riz takes down Face Crack, and now it's more on the M4. Does find 2, going to drop the smoke as well. Interesting smoke there, as it does in fact give some kind of space for the side of 14 Esports to work with.
Don't know how much success they're going to find though. Nice frag actually onto Mini. It is going to be an M4 that can be picked up.
In a round like this, can always spiral out of control. All it takes is a crisp headshot with the AK. Sometimes all it needs. Obviously, Davkos is holding the lines with the AWP, but now the question marks come through. Now the slight kind of imagination on the side of Invictus Gaming. They could have got a timing towards long. They could potentially be towards CT. And that's why they've given up the B-bomb site. They're making sure that there's none of this deep flank coming through. They should allow the players to cross. Obviously, Mort is holding. Spray is good, but the bomb has been dropped. Oh, in fact, they didn't seem aware of it at all.
All leveled up here though. Watts does finally get out the AWP. Obviously, we mentioned it. This is both teams have the exact same record of 2 and 3. Neither in a great spot in the league standings right now. But we sort of imagine this would be a game that does go the distance. Is a very competitive one, and so far it has been that.
Yeah, and I think as well it gives the side one last chance, I guess. 4 and 4, we're very confident that that record isn't enough. We're gonna need to see if you were to go 5-3, we're going to need to see a very strong round difference. So this is potentially both these teams' last chances. Banana control taken note from the side of Invictus, so a lot of utility going to need to be used for 14 if they want to try and retake this control. I think that's what they're lining up for now, though. As Blood's ready and waiting to send the flash. Does work out well. The AWP holding the lines. Team do push on through. Once again, it's a bit of a gamble here from the side of Invictus. 3 players still towards A. Obviously, Riz is going to be operating as a lurk. Could take down Davcost here. Obviously, holding towards Boiler currently. And Riz just steps back. And they are going to be going back towards A, in fact. Ooh, Davcost just gets away there. A lot of util use here towards B. All thrown by one individual. And now they send their way out towards A. Davcost tries to push through the smoke here. Could have got caught out, in fact. Elevates himself up onto the bomb site. Meztal still alive and kicking for now in pit. Doing a great job just to be a nuisance. Not only has he found a kill, but he's alleviated so much pressure from his teammate on the bomb site. Also finds a double as well. And Bloods is all that remains. Falls to Mini. That is such a perfect play there from Invictus. And I like the risk that Davcost takes. Yes, there was a moment that he could have been caught out. But he knows if he gets trapped behind that Moto smoke, the round's over. Meztal completely alone in pit. He would have got crunched on. And it's a near impossible round already. But nice initiative there from Davcost. Great smoke from Meztal. And a perfectly played A defense from the side of Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, you saw what happened as soon as Meztal found the first. 14 just slowed down massively. Felt like, okay, what do we do here? Do we try to wait out the smoke? And then they realized, okay, the rotations are going to come in. And it felt like they were caught between too many different scenarios. And they just couldn't really pick the right one that was going to work for them. But yeah, like you said, great stuff from Invictus. And a really, I mean, look what it's done in terms of the buy of 14 in this one. They should be able to find their 5th, no problem. Unless these pistols can somehow make some magic happen.
Yeah, I feel like as well, their initial plan, heading towards B, there was 4 players there, but I think clearly Riz heard a kind of nothing, I guess, towards A. No contact was made, no sound was made, and that's kind of was the causation for the rotation back towards the A bomb site. Looking good from Moore, though. Not only has he found one more, he has spotted another. What's all that remains? Doubt he's going to be able to get the bomb down, as we already see Davcost rotating in, but as the AWP on is lonesome, it's not going to be easy. And that's why we see Meztal rotating in too. Meztal currently 11-4. In the last couple of rounds, really has stepped up. We'll find his 12th as well. And look at the economy here for Invictus Gaming. I feel like this is the difference, Charlie, between the success that 14 found and Invictus. Obviously, the rounds that were won initially from the side of 14, they were very close. They were 1v1s, 2v2s. And that's what kind of really hindered their economy initially. Whereas for Invictus, a lot of these rounds have been won convincingly, and that's kind of the causation for this such strong economy. With Mini and Davcost around 10k, Meztal on 7, and even though Moore and Facecrack around that 3.5k mark, they've still got enough money to buy in the next comfortably.
Yeah, that's the scary thing for this T side. They haven't really won a full buy against another full buy just yet, but I mean, this could be the chance. Mini does get caught out. There's a second player here in Davcost, 25 points of health, and does go down after tagging Riz.
Yeah, this is where 14 really need to kind of step up the gas. Just push their way out towards A. Obviously, we still have 2 defenders here for the side of Invictus, but it's a 5 versus 2, Charlie. We've seen the gamble calls from Invictus initially, and I think that's exactly what's happening here. Moore just going to be rotating over towards A, but it might be a little too late. Meztal does find one. He's been such a key player from pit before. Will get his second before falling. 2 versus 3 now with Facecrack in the back lines. Eliminates the AWP of Watts. An unfortunate missed shot there that kind of might change the whole course of this round. Nice flash there. PR will go down. Well, in fact, drops into mini pit. Somehow not eliminated. Glock in hand, and he's able to clutch it out. Kind of lost for words in that round.
Massive stuff there from PR, but Fred, you've got to consider that was a 5 versus 3 with, I mean, one player completely on the other side of the map. That got very dicey there. 40, it's going to keep their economy really humble. You mentioned how strong Invictus is. They've still got plenty of money in the reserve on the majority of their team. So when you consider that a round that should have been a clean one from the T side became very close. A round that they could have almost have lost.
And once again, Charlie, something to mention, it was Meztal. Found those 2 kills from pit. Really made things a little bit kind of uncomfortable for the side of 14. And Meztal again finds the opener, able to back away as well. Has been spotted, but the fact he's able to creep on back, that's the important factor. Davkos going to be rotating in, staring towards apartments. Riz will go down. The awareness there from Davkos and the reaction time on that AWP shot. Oh, I love that from FaceCrack. Spots the AWP. Just crouches under the scope. FaceCrack able to back away as well. And it seems as though 14, they've got themselves in positions where trades can come through, but it seems as though they're not quick enough.
Yeah, FaceCrack is just getting this information. Doesn't want to give up his life, but he's still doing a good job at just delaying as well as relaying this to his team. Blood's very risky game he's playing and does fall for it.
Yeah, Mini will eliminate Shellsy there. And once again, Charlie, look at the economy for 14. It's going to be another half buy. 5 alive there from Invictus. They're looking so clinical here on the CT side.
The last 2 rounds are a prime example of how this game's sort of gone. 14, the round that they do win, right down to the wire. 1 player surviving, whereas Invictus, all 5 live. Just going to be building their economy up once again.
Yeah, and it looked really good initially from the side of 14. It seemed as though a lot of their game plan was, you know, very cautious, not taking any gambles, taking any risks. But it seems as though, as Invictus have been looking really dominant, it seems as though 14 are having to play a different play style. They're having to kind of change things up on the fly. Whereas Invictus, they're just playing their own gameplay, and you know it's working out very nicely. Great counter flash from the CTs, but we still see Bloods find the opener. FaceCrack needs to back away, but doesn't have time to do so as PR eliminates. Something to mention, Charlie, no ammo in that M4, so no Ruins control has been taken. Nice nade there. It's both PR and Riz. Flashbang coming through. And now Meztal's going to emerge. Spots the player on top of Dark, takes him down. Oh, and Meztal's double, securing this round. Invictus finds 7. It seems as though 14, when they hit as a pack, even with just pistols, they seem so much stronger than kind of when they're playing these rounds slowly. Just goes to show that maybe they need to operate with a little bit more of a pack mentality. Obviously, the rotation's so slow on a map like Inferno, so essentially that's the game plan they've got to go for.
It does feel like Invictus, though, in these last sort of... Well, I mean, you just got to consider, Fred. They've won 7 out of the last 8 rounds. They've really massively come alive. Sort of as soon as the initial rounds from the pistol dissipated. And that's when they're really thriving, and 14 don't really have an answer.
Yeah, and I think it's
Invictus side right now.
I think as well, something key to mention is, you know, yeah, 14, they won the opening 3, but that's, you know, generally how it goes after winning the pistol. It seems as though the second the full buys have come out, Invictus, they're definitely the dominant factor here. Moore does get his first. Searching for the second, will eliminate Shellsy with the trade, but 2 versus 3 now. Still clearing out the bomb site. Obviously, Watt's rotating in with that bomb now. Invictus once again on this retake now. Quite far out of the action, so time will tick away, and Watts could get posted up on the angle. Obviously, that smoke is a massive question mark for them. Luckily, no one's crossed towards CT yet, but it's going to be a bit of an AWP duel here. Oh, and Davkos so quick there. Eliminates Watts even whilst being held. Final player towards second oranges. Shellsy does find his first, giving up his position here. They do line up, somewhat of a chance, but no. Mini eliminates. 8 rounds have been found. The half's been won. And Invictus, they're looking brilliant.
Yeah, we've seen... it does feel like from 14, one of the biggest problems that they are having is just they're not as sharp as we're used to seeing them. It feels like they're individually a bit weaker than what they should be. We're seeing players like Watts. Obviously, when you are the AWP, you're always going to have that pressure on you of being one of the sort of star players of the team, I suppose. But we've seen a number of times missed shots getting out dueled just even by rifles a lot of the time that we should never normally be seeing from him. And I think it does feel like maybe having a bit of a slow start to this game is punishing him. But Meztao, he boosts over the smoke, takes down Blood, and both CT Fred get away unharmed.
Yeah, that's brilliant there. I feel like sometimes when you go for a boost like that and, you know, you only find one initially, you're expecting to go down. But no, the fact they're both able to back away, really, really good stuff there. And we see this boost on the half wall as well. Watt's not going to be ready for this, and the Molotov going to force him back. Still going for a bit of a peek here. And that's a kill Watson needs to be finding. Yes, he gets the tag, but I feel like that pick back could have been everything for the side of 14.
At least it is damage dealt and information gained, but yeah, like you said, more lucky to be alive, really.
Meztao, though, once again towards Pit. It's going to be Davkos to be pressured here as the smoke fades. They push on through. Up on the corner, Shellsy going to be sending the smoke to deny vision. Potentially a bit of a B split here, but obviously with the player still in apartments and no one towards B, potentially they're going to be pushing through the Moto smoke. I don't know what the game plan is here for 14, but with 28 seconds on the clock, surely they have to go towards A. And that smoke towards Moto going to make things very difficult. Riz with a lot of work to do. Gives away his position towards apartments as he sends out the Molotov. And Shellsy going to be pushing through. And this could be perfect. With 14 seconds remaining, 14 do have a chance here. Oh, but both players towards Moto go down. We see Davkos find Riz. And Watts is all that remained, but he falls as well to Meztao. All it took was a well-placed flashbang, and pretty much the whole of the Invictus side would have been blinded there, but the lack of utility and I feel like a bit of a lack of coordination there really caught 14 out.
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, a lot of the times, these very late executes can catch up a team. They get a little bit too anxious, a little too antsy, and that's when mistakes come out. But at the end of the day, Invictus, they just held their ground. They didn't even move. They were still in the positions aware that A was going to be hit and just found the kills from that. Yeah, it felt like slightly too late on that execute from 14. Lack of util wasn't perfect, sadly.
A little bit unfortunate. And in round 14, obviously, they've opted for a force buy here, as we can see from the weapons. We've got 2 MAC-10s, a Galil, an AK, and that Tech 9. And I feel like it's getting to the point where 14, they're potentially... You know, you kind of mentioned it in their execute. Potentially they are getting a bit antsy. They're getting a little bit... potentially just disappointed in the lack of rounds and they want to force something. That's what it seems like. But Davkos, no smoke towards Moto. Finally it lands, but far too late. Davkos finds 2 there before it blooms. And it's just Watts and Bloods remaining. And Mini's confident here. Going to be clearing out all of this position. Takes down Watson. Face crack finds Blood. Charlie, Meztao is 20-5 within 14 rounds.
And yeah, he's not the only player who's performing to a really high level. You got Mini as well, 14-5, not far behind. But yeah, it is a bit of a scary sight to see when, like I mentioned, it feels like nobody on 14 is really hitting the shots that we're normally used to seeing from them. Whereas Invictus, they've got an abundance of players who are non-stop having huge impact round after round.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there is that real lapse of ability that we're seeing here on the side of 14. A lot of damage dealt to the player towards sandbags. They do take down Face Crack, an important kill to find, and now they retreat. In the right call to make, but Shellsy, very aggressive, takes down more. This nade could do a lot of work, though. Deals so much damage. Ooh, Mini boosted up here. Does have the chance for success. Spots the first, but goes down to Bloods. Another kill found. It's now a Meztao 1v5 that we're going to need to see. But the nade eliminates 14. They find their 5th round. And where was that before, Charlie?
Yeah, it sort of does feel like it's not part of the game plan. That's one of the rounds that you're like, okay, we're really struggling here. Do we just go back to the typical B rush? Do we just hope that something works? Yeah, and I mean, it can catch out teams. The issue is it's just normally not able to be done consistently. Normally teams, I mean, it was a bit poor from Invictus. You saw Face Crack got caught out towards sandbags early. just a player jumping above the smoke on sandbags, catches out another one. It felt like Invictus were a little bit caught out by that round, and normally you can't do that back to back or a number of times and a half with that level of success. So it is a bit unfortunate for 14, but it feels like a lot hasn't been going right for them. But Invictus, they've been countering everything that, I mean, this 14 esports side is throwing at them.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, you know, this is where 14 really need to step up. Obviously, they are on the CT side, but we need to see a change. And potentially, we need to see a little bit more team cohesion. We mentioned how their T side, some stuff seemed a little bit disjointed. I'm liking the setup they're running towards B, though. Watts just playing anti-flash, tucked away there. Searching for a pick. Watts, Julie's in hand. Flashbang coming over. Ooh, lovely opener onto Meztal. And now Shelzy going to be swinging through. Flashbang's looking good. 5 versus 3 now. Potentially just need to back away, but fighting a little too much will allow Mini to find Shelzy there.
Yeah, more brought down very low. Still 2 smokes and a flashbang on the side of Invictus. They did spot a player jiggle towards mid, but 14 aren't going to give away another kill that easily. Very silent here. Smokes come over now. This is going to be the Execute Bloods.
Ooh.
It's going to get smoked off, but finds the kill before able to rotate into the site.
Mortars find one. We're searching for his second hit. Does find him. 2 versus 2 now. Will the bomb be able to go down? Smoke's going to be fading very shortly. And even though Moore's been solo HP, he's having a lot of impact here. 1 HP on face crack, 7 on PR. A body shot from either is all that's needed. And what a shot from face crack. Takes down PR. How is that round been won, Charlie? That was a 3v5 with Moore on 11 HP.
Yeah, 4 versus 2 at one point as well. But Moore, huge impact, like you mentioned. Almost found them all. But despite being solo, found 3 kills in that round. So much impact, like you mentioned. And 11 rounds going the way of Invictus. And that could be the final blow that does sort of force 14 esports to fall at this one, because at the end of the day, that's such a brutal loss to take. You've had a tough time on the full buys against Invictus. Majority of your rounds came from winning the initial pistol, and now a pistol that should have gone your way just gets ripped out of your hands.
Yeah, but I think that's the beauty of the pistol round, isn't it, Charlie? I feel like a lot of the time, as the CTs, you're definitely going to be aiming for their heads. Not going to be many kind of spams with that USP. And I feel like sometimes, even when you are low HP, you can have that individual brilliance. You know, we see time and time again the clutches on the pistol rounds, you know, those 1vx situations. Because if you've got a USP in hand, all it takes is a couple nice headshots, and, you know, that's the round one. And it's kind of what we saw from Moore. Questionable buy, though. 14 really going to struggle. 3 ZZs in play. We do love to see it.
Out towards apartments, finds the first, gets brought down very low, not able to back away.
Ooh, the pistols are working magic here. Watts does go down. PR trying to defend the middle of the bomb site. Does a great job with the Deagle. And Watts swings from apps and takes down more. And the CZ's kind of worked out perfectly there.
Yeah, a bit sloppier than we used to from Invictus. Not really using much utility. Very split on the initial attack. Allowed 14 to actually utilize these pistols a bit more. Just tucked into the corners. And that's how they want to play them. And it felt like Invictus played right into the CT side's hands.
We kind of saw what the util did, though. You know, once we saw player and apps bring out the util, the swing came through. And I feel like a little, you know, all of these individuals were a little bit worried about that fact. You're ready for these CZs to be doubling up, playing those close quarters angles, and you understand the reason for no util. We need to see at least a flash, though, something to help them out.
It's Invictus' turn at the force buy. No CZs in this one. Majority Deagles with that lone Tech 9 on face crack. Look how passive the T's are playing. Just left T-ramp now, heading towards Banana.
I don't really want to force anything. feel like they know the impact that these deagles can have. Why don't they just take their time, go for a bit of a B exec? That's exactly what we're going to be seeing. Contact's been made. Shellsy lining up the flash. Perfect timing on it. Blinds 2. There is a player in pool. Shellsy will eventually get taken down though. 4 versus 4 now. Util completely dissipated on the side of Invictus. Facecrack aware of the molly coming through. Going to be trying to plant towards Fountain. Does so successfully. So a bomb plant hit already. Invictus are going to be happy with that. But we've got 3 players towards Dark Charlie. This could work out perfectly. And no kind of damaging utility remaining on the side of 14. First kill found. Mezcal needs to play passively. MP9 on Davkos. Needs to find a frag. Important kill to be found, but he's getting swung by 3. They're going to be checking Dark, though. And now it's all on Mezcal. It's not even planted for him, but they do have enough time to defuse. 2 defuse kits in play as well. On 14, they do win the round.
Yeah, should just be the eco in the next for Invictus. Obviously, the bomb plant is going to be nice. Have a bit more extra cash to play with. Probably in the next round. I can't imagine they'll invest too much in this one. There's not much need, I'm sure. Players like Davkos want to get the AWP out as soon as possible.
Obviously, the AWP for Davkos played a real impactful role for the Invictus gaming side on that CT side. I feel like Davkos had so many key rounds. Just consistent double kills. If you do understand it. But still got the Deagles in play once again. See what they can do. I think we might see a bit of a reverse of the last. We saw the initial passive playstyle from Invictus and then a bit of a B-pop. I think they're going to be leaning towards A now. Nice nade there. Chips away at the aggressors. Nice spray though, and PR and Watts just absolutely eliminate these aggressing Invictus gaming players. And Riz rotates in with that MP9. Will be the finishing blow. And the gap's been closed, Charlie. Even after Invictus won the pistol, things are looking up here for 14.
Yeah, you do have to still consider though 14 did massively struggle against the force buys. Sorry, against the full buys. That's when Invictus really did step up beyond belief. But still, it's the 3 early rounds that 14 got. They didn't get it directly off the pistol. They did get it off that second round force buy though. Aggression here from PR. Ooh. Spots out Mini. And does take him down. Able to back away.
Face crack though will go down. More very aggressive through the smoke. Eliminates blood, so keeps things somewhat competitive. But a 4 versus 2 with more 2 HP. It's not going to be easy. Obviously, we saw this situation before. They're against the rifles now. It's not as though they're facing against USPs. This is going to be really tough now. Invictus Gaming losing this round will allow 14 to find double digits and put them at touching distance away from their opponents. This really is heating up to be a bit of a hot contest.
Going to be this big execute. There are 2 players on the bomb site. It's just going to be how cleanly can they take the site? Can they even take the site?
Obviously, they've still got 3 flashbangs going to be coming over now. Ooh, Shellsy having to swing out. Dodges the flash. Hasn't been taken down yet. Eventually will fall. PR's been spotted. We'll get 1 though before falling. So 2 versus 2 now. That's a perfect site take. And it was more to fall as well. Riz and Watts though.
Obviously, Util's fully been burnt from Invictus now. Oh,
spotted one.
Mezcal just been spotted. Gonna get smoked off now. Absolutely no Util for Invictus at all.
We just need to see Davkos play a little bit reserved here. Nade can be good. Mezcal wants to push through. And as the contact's made, he does go through there, but goes down. Nice trade from Riz. 9th round found here for 14.
Mezcal sort of heavily reliant on his teammate to at least find 1. Or at least be able to back away after the contact's been made. But at the end of the day, that is how it happens. That's how it does sometimes go. But yeah, like you mentioned, 14, they are certainly closing up the scoreline pretty significantly now. They should be able to win this one. It is just a half buy from Invictus.
Yeah, it seems as though both of these teams have a lot more comfort on that CT side. I feel like potentially we need to see a little bit more creativity from the Invictus gaming side. Obviously, you know, we saw them bring it to that 2 versus 2. Obviously, Mezcal was spotted towards CT, but it seems as though both of those individuals played a little bit for the kind of a 1v2. You know, we saw passive playstyle from Davkos towards Ruins. Or not towards Ruins, towards Nubox. I kind of expected Mezcal to rotate through or try and, you know, create some presence to give one another to play off. But no, seemed a little bit disjointed there. Nice find from Mezcal though. Does take down PR. They're aware of the player towards Pet. Might just opt against finding him though. Shelzy. Flash is good. Will take down Davkos. Riz emerges and eliminates Mezcal.
Another smoke drop towards Pit now. That's where the bomb does reside.
Shelzy, although not quick to spot face crack, will eliminate. And it's all on more. Deagle in hand. So many targets. And does go down. Finds one before falling, but with 3 alive, 14, they're going to be making a fair bit of money. And look at the economy for them now. Riz, 10k in the bank. As I mentioned, the 10th round has been secured. And this is where 14 can take the lead. If a loss comes through here for Invictus, it will be 14's 12th.
Yeah, this is what I mentioned. I mean, we said early on that this game, just due to their records, due to how both these teams have performed this season, we expect it to be a very competitive game. Early on, it looked like Invictus was just going to steal the show. But 14 straight back in with it. Looking so hot here. Watts does fall, though. Finally, an opening kill going the way of Invictus.
It's what they've been searching for, but they do lose 2. As a quick response from Shelzy. Picks up the AWP as well. Obviously, 20 HP. You understand why. And it seemed as though Invictus, they found the opener, but they wanted a little more there. Certainly bit off a little more than they could chew, though. They did lose 2. They're the ones in the disadvantage situation now. Things are not looking up. And I'm liking the setup that 14 are running here. Shelzy taking contact with the AWP. Blood seemingly playing anti-flash. This could be perfect.
Risky call here. Gotta be a bit of a fake. That's how util to play with, but just dropping that initial smoke. Nothing behind it. Second set of util coming out now.
You know, I think because of the fact that the util has been very split, 14, they're going to be very aware that this util's just been thrown by one player. Rotation's going to be coming through towards A now. Mezcal pushes through. Riz holding his lines, takes down Mini. Mezcal all alone now, 1 versus 3. Drops the Molotov to try and force him out. Flashbang going to be coming through. Mezcal, nice stuff there. 14 seconds to work with. Molotov currently on the bomb. Oh, unfortunate smoke, as it does kind of just hit off the pixel. Ooh, bomb's been planted. There is a chance here. Mezcal's been given a 1v1. But no, Bloods does eliminate. That got very dicey there for 14. A 1v4 or a 1v3 with 20 seconds remaining being brought to a 1v1. Good job from Mezcal, but 14 going to be kind of thanking Bloods in that round, especially as it did get quite unnecessarily close.
All leveled up here now, though, Fred. 11 to 11. And just the final stages of the game. With that bomb plant, Invictus can invest. Have a decent enough buy. Lacking a bit of utility. Obviously, no AWP, but still, it's going to be a good enough buy. We haven't really seen much from Invictus since they've switched over to this T side.
It's definitely going to go down to the wire, though, Charlie. Are 14 going to be able to keep this going, though? That is the question. Obviously, they've been playing catch-up throughout, and now they're the ones in the driver's seat. Can they handle the pressure?
Banana control still mainly in favor of 14, but the flashbang not just yet. Flashbang comes over now. Face crack finds nothing more as backup, though. Finds one, gets swung on, but somehow doesn't go down.
That's a great find there from Mini. Trade does come through. PR, an important kill, drops the molly into pool as well.
Bomb does get stuck. Invictus once again in a situation where utility is not really in their favor. Just a singular flashbang. Do retrieve a smoke, in fact. Get to throw that towards CT, but health-wise and util, it's not going to be massively favored for them.
Seemingly, though, it's the first round when they've planted the bomb towards B that they've had, you know, a couple players towards Banana, a little bit more control, and that might be the difference maker. Smoke drop towards Nubox. PR eliminates Davkos with a boost, working out well. Meztal once again up top. More going to be sending the flash. They're going to be pushing through the smoke now, and Meztal can't even find one. Oh, the spray's looking good. I don't think he realized he hasn't taken down the bomb planter, but the reswing from Moore is enough, and Invictus, they finally break the streak here of 14, and they do retain the lead.
Very close round. And now the issue is for Invictus, due to not having the loss bonus, not the bomb plant bonus, their money's in a worse spot than it was in the prior. Even though they won the round, are we going to have a single AK? No, not a single AK. They won the round. They got 3 MAC-10s and 2 Galils.
I'm not too sure how an AK wasn't saved. I believe Meztal definitely had one.
Everyone down. More died to the bomb.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. You're looking at the buy. It seems as though it's a bit of a force. It's nice to see that they have prioritized utility. Potentially could have put one individual, maybe Meztal on an AK, but let's see how the util fares for them. Very fast pop here towards 8. We're going to be seeing FaceCrack jumping himself up. We'll take down 1 and, oh, 2 for the price of 1. Everyone loves a bargain, especially FaceCrack, looking for the 3rd.
Gets Blood down to 1 HP. They just got to back away here. Unlucky. Oh, you can see how bloodthirsty he is. Even hit Mini there.
He wants a kill. Teammate or opponent, he'll take him either.
Couple of weapons can at least be upgraded here from Invictus. Pick up a couple of M4s. I can't imagine they're going to go for too much of a hunt after the buy that they ended up having in this one. But I like that from Invictus. Fast hit there. You can see what the util did. Riz brought down so low. Just caught out in the middle of the pit. Had to leave the safety of that sort of half-wall area. Just so exposed. Easy find for FaceCrack and huge double up. But you can also kind of see what happened. 14 weren't expecting there to be absolutely 0 AKs. So the fact that everybody had no head armor, it meant the Galil and obviously the MAC-10s could just one-hit headshot.
Yeah, it was an unexpected situation that 14 kind of fell into. Charlie 13's been found now. The money's slowly been drained for the side of 14. A loss in this round will kind of give up 15, and potentially it might be too far gone. Obviously 14, they've had a great start here on the CT side, but as it gets to the end, that's where they seemingly are struggling, and it's a bit of a half buy. We've got 2 M4s, an AWP, util not perfect. Oh, what? Clearly just couldn't see through that molly, but
you clearly need a FaceCrack good as well. Both players sort of could have taken down the other, but Watts does come out on top. And like you mentioned, this is a bit of a half bite, as they've just saved the weapons over, invested absolutely nothing else. Yet still found the opening. It's just Watts here towards B. 20 HP.
I like the confidence,
this could be a bit of a mistake.
Obviously, rotations can come through. The util's not perfect for Invictus. They have used a lot of it already. They don't have a flashbang, not anymore. Oh, what? Great find. Shellsy eliminates more. Oh, Watts finds another through the smoke. Deals damage to Davkost as well. And this save has worked out so well for them. Davkost, near impossible round. 36 points of health. Has retrieved the bomb. Really going to struggle here. Nice response here from 14.
Davkost, his first challenge is going to be towards mid. Trying to take down the 100 HP Bloods, but Bloods doesn't even want to full on fight. Backs away instantly, just gets the information. And Davkost is going to try to be saving, but Bloods is so aware. Instantly rotates up, takes him down.
1 round in it now, Charlie. $14. Going to be on a strong buy. Facing off against, once again, a bit of a mismanaged one on the side of Invictus. Potentially some Galils and MAC-10s will be out. Both Davkos and Meztal. Can't comfortably buy. I love that from Facecrack, though. Drops over the AWP to Davkos, brings out the MAC-10. And sometimes that's the type of play that has to be made. Both individuals struggling a little in this one, but there's Facecrack's MAC-10. Already done a great job. With a nade onto Bloods.
Yeah, definitely a situation that Invictus would be happy with. Go 1 for 1, bring Bloods down to 21 points of health.
Yeah, successful banana hit.
Both teams slowing it down again. 14 have gambled 3 towards B, though. Invictus have certainly been hitting this site a lot more, so the call is perfect for now. But Fred, you can see some re-aggression here from 14.
It's all about timing on this flash. Oh, Davkos finds one. Oh, somehow Davkos gets taken down quite late there. Was in fact more to fall first. 2 versus 2 though. On either side, there's a player who has been whittled down a little. Mini just sending some util. Obviously, Riz hasn't rotated yet. 47 seconds to work with. I think we might see a bit of a B split, but Blood's definitely aware of this. Rotates back towards Ruins.
You have just cleared TT, so for now, he's going to be feeling a little more safe, but as Meztal gets closer and closer, that's when the time limit on potentially this B hold will fall.
Mini has to be the one to take this initial contact, or at least send a smoke. Give Meztal something to work with. If Meztal goes down, I don't think there's really enough time. There's definitely not enough time. Oh, smoke's landed. Timing's perfect. You need to see a knife? No, surely not. I think there was a bit of a question.
Yeah.
He had some discipline there. I thought there might have been a chance. But Riz just going to save. Obviously, we've got some players with economy on the side of 14. Riz keeping this weapon alive. Will allow to drop to Shelzy. 14 has been found from Invictus.
Yeah, still, game certainly not won yet.
The back and forth nature of these last couple rounds have made things very interesting. And we see these save calls. We see these gambles being made. I feel like potentially in the early portions of each half, something that, you know, Ingham leaders potentially aren't going to be all too focused on. Yeah, when it gets down to the wire, you've got to make those risky calls. And even with the kind of the gamble, we needed to see a little bit more.
Loss bonus, non-existent for 14. Just a 1.4k, but it will be enough for everyone to be able to get a buyout. Just luckily, thanks to the amount of money was saved from the prior. But this could be it. If Invictus win this round, surely the game will be done.
Yeah, 14. Everything on the line here. Not only is it just kind of for pride winning this map, losing this game, potentially their chances for playoffs over. And that's something that's been...
Their mindsets will certainly change from playoffs to survival, but that's a nice find onto more very solo play from the Invictus player there. Absolutely no support.
And I feel like it's, you know, it's high risk, high reward. You find that kill, you've opened up the B bomb site, you've allowed your team to take some control, but losing that opening kill can be devastating. And especially because, you know, the real gravity that this round does have for the side of 14. You're in a loss here, no money in the bank. Potentially would have been all over. Shelzy opens things up nicely and keeps 14 in the conversation. Davkos holding the lines here. Waiting for a swing. I think just that AWP shot alone from Davkos, it's going to pull a rotation. Watts has come here. And now, as they lean towards A, this could be perfect for Invictus.
Well, he does come out, and still, Invictus haven't hit this A-bomb side just yet, but slowly they're creeping out.
Smoke has been dropped by PR. Let's have a little bit of a gap to work with. That's a very nice one-way. Definitely going to be caught out. With very little time to work with. Frags are going to need to be found instantly. The bomb can get planted, in fact. Oh, it does go down. The lack of ammo there. Invictus, they've been given a gift. Nice frag, though, from Shelzy. Oh, Meztal has spotted 2. Searching for both of them here. Just crouching. keeping himself unspotted. In fact, just behind the smoke, he can be seen. Nice find. Will drop down. Meztal, he's been such a key player in all of these rounds. Needs to keep himself alive now. Has spotted one towards short as well. They've got information on both of these players. Shellsy going to be pushing through now. Needs to get aggressive. Charlie. Bloods has one. Oh. Is there enough time?
They do have it, luckily. Did get a bit dicey, but... yeah, I mean, that's right down to the wire there. 2 players surviving on the side of 14 means they can comfortably get a buyout. Imagine there'll be a few limitations in terms of utility, but Fred, there's double ult being saved.
See how it works out. Watts with the mid spawn, or as kind of as good as one can hope.
Invictus aren't. Oh, no, they are going to fully commit for this. Just waiting for Davkos to invest in his weapon. Yeah, once again, a bit of a shaky buy from Invictus.
It's very risky. You know, it's a similar situation that we saw from the side of 14. A loss in this round will put 14 on match point. Obviously, it doesn't have the same kind of, you know, levels of risk, I guess you could say, because they still have another chance. But still, a loss in this round, they'd have to eco in the next. Invictus, though, we've seen what they can do in this type of bite, and they opt for the same strategy. Just a fast pop out towards A. Could work out well, but face crack going down early, and that's a lovely double from Riz. PR as well, eliminating more. It's a 2 versus 4 very quickly here. Riz, ooh, runs out of ammo, falls to Meztal. 2 versus 3 now, but the bomb under the control of 14.
Yeah, fully smoked off from this bomb for now. Seen this a couple of times, Meztal stick with the Galil over the M4.
He might as well, obviously, you know, the M4 having no ammo, he might not want to give away his position. But yeah, maybe just prefers the Galil. More ammo, I guess. And we saw what happened with the M4 in the last round, or in this round, in fact, as well. Just running out of bullets at, you know, the final stages.
Davkos is coming in from the back lines. Meztal gonna be smoking off library. In fact, it's actually a sort of B-split smoke by the looks of things.
Just gives something for Davkos to work with. Flash is good. Not going to be pushing through yet. Davkos finds one. Finally emerges. Might be able to wrap towards B. Oh, the timing is perfect. Bloods, I think he has spotted him on the cross. Be a bit of a chase here. Oh, Bloods. Unable to find the kill. Smoke drop towards Ruins. Invictus, they've got a chance now. Meztal needs to take this player down towards CT. Does find him comfortably. Searching for the second. Shellsy now in a 1 versus 2 with both of his opponents 18 HP. Shellsy's got a chance here. Obviously a similar kind of situation before. 14. They don't really have the money to buy in the next. A loss in this round, it could be over. And Davkos going to be peeking. Oh, timing's perfect. The molly would have been good enough, but the timing on the swing there from Meztal enough. Charlie, Meztal's 36 and 16. Only 18 rounds of play. Oh, sorry, 28 rounds of play.
But Fred, that is heartbreaking for 14. They had the bomb. They had the man advantage. Both Davkos and Meztal were low HP, and somehow that round goes the way of Invictus. Time and time again, we're seeing this team make something out of nothing, and it's unbelievable to watch.
And look at the buy that 14.
The amount of time, Fred, though, that we saw players almost being taken down, Davkos somehow surviving towards Ruins. It's a brutal way for 14 to be against match point, and they could lose the game due to this now, and that would be absolutely devastating.
You've got to imagine as well, Davkos having a bit of a timing there to get in the back lines. Why was no one holding towards CT? They could have just had a player from Library that whole time just holding the cross. But no, it was that smoke that Meztal threw. It was that slight indication that they could just be 2 players swinging long. It would be a 2 versus 1. We really don't want to take that risk, and look what happened.
Man advantage already in this round for Invictus. A player tucked in boiler with the CZ.
Ooh.
Does get found. That's what's going down. 2-man advantage here.
I think it's done, Charlie.
Oh,
5 versus 3.
Perfect as well. Just as 14 leave the B-bomb site.
2 CZs, a P250, and that final piece of util has been used now. They're not going to push on through yet. I say that. The flashbang does come through. Ooh, Shellsy finds one. 2 versus 3 now with Mini 34 points of health. There's somewhat of a chance they could find it here while the bomb's being planted. Ooh, pushes through, but doesn't find anything. And it's just Riz. 1 versus 3, currently towards CT. So much work to do here. We mentioned the importance of this game. It's their chance for playoffs. A very tough task. Davkos holding the lines. Takes him down with a final bullet. 16-13 Invictus. They close it out. They bring it to that really long distance. But what a performance from them. We mentioned how close this game, could have potentially got. And I think we kind of saw it all. 16-13. We saw so many clutch rounds, so many 2vx's from the side of Invictus, and that was really the difference maker. It seemed as though 14, they had a really tough time on their CT side, but they brought things back very comfortably, very nicely, but just wasn't to be. But what are your thoughts after that one, Charlie?
Yeah, it was such a close game at the end. I mean, it felt like it really could have went either way, but it was that clutch from Davkos and Mestel that was the difference maker, because it would have reset the money of Invictus as well. 14 could have been the ones to find match point, but instead it goes against them. But someone you have to mention, Mestel. Unbelievable performance, 37 kills and 17 deaths. It was non-stop, so consistent all the way throughout the game, and it felt like Invictus, obviously he was such a key performer on the CD side, but it was his T side performance that really shined through, because when the rest of the team slowed down, that's when Mestal kept on pushing, kept on going. And even though Invictus struggled initially on that T side, just him being that constant for Invictus's side, that is what I think the difference maker was.
Yeah, definitely Mestal, such a key player in that game. I feel like Invictus, it would have been a real struggle without him. I feel like definitely had, top performance, but, really feeling on the day. And although we had some missing members on the Invictus side, we did have one individual shine above everyone on the server, and that's potentially what gained Invictus this win here. Obviously we do have a second game on our hands. It is Zero Tenacity versus Hotu on Mirage, which should be good. So we are just going to jump to a short break beforehand, but what an amazing first game. Hopefully the second game will do it justice. Heading straight into the action here. Zero Tenacity versus Hotu. Zero Tenacity going to be starting on the CT side here of Mirage. Obviously quite a slow pistol round so far, so we have a little bit of time to talk about our thoughts and feelings on the game. I say that as they barrel their way very quick up con. Seemingly a nice setup here from Zero Tenacity, but instantly shut down by that Hotu aggression.
Yeah, just two more players remaining on this ZT side, AVN and Simca. I don't know what much they're going to be able to say. There's a bit of a gunfight going on between Palace, but AVN does fall. Simca surely going to be soon to follow.
Something that I am really excited about this game, Charlie, is the AWPers that we have in play. I feel like we talk about the AWP in battle in a lot of games having, you know, a lot of impact and how, you know, all these AWPers in the top league can really, really perform. But I feel like this is going to be a really, really good game. Obviously, Brute Monster, a player on the AWP that we've seen dominate time and time again, I feel like can have so much impact just with the weapon alone. And, you know, similarly on the side of Hotu, Gokushima, so strong with the big green. So I feel like this game could be dictated by the AWPers.
Yeah, I mean, this game in general is going to be very interesting to actually see from Hotu's perspective. Haven't seen anything from them this season. Obviously, they've been some heavy hitters in prior, but yeah, absolutely nothing seen from them just yet. Whereas on the side of Zero Tenacity, they're 4-2. We've seen what they're capable of. We know their limitations. So yeah, we really have seen a decent amount from them. But yeah, it'll just be dependent on what we can see from Hotu. If they can come out the gate swinging, or potentially like a few teams, is it going to be some of those slow starts that we tend to see at the start of the season? But obviously, we're in the sort of the mid portion in general. So Hotu have a bit of catching up to do, but Zero Tenacity is just going to be saving in this one, and Hotu will find their second.
Obviously, we didn't really expect much of a kind of a strong fight here from ZT. Obviously, they went for the full investment, but those early kills, instantly Zero Tenacity just going to save. Try and keep these weapons in the necks and see what they can do with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like about the Force Buy, is just being able to keep majority of the weapons alive. You've still got a slight chance. Obviously, you're going to have less of chance. You've just got less weapons in play, but all it takes is a couple of scout headshots from Namana, AVN getting a lucky timing with the 5-7, and who knows, anything can happen.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like in those type of rounds, you know, in this round that we can see here, all it takes is a kill going the way of Zero Tenacity early on. Weapon can be retrieved, and that's where things really can work in their favor. So definitely not ruled out in this round. It's not going to be easy, but I think at the same time, we've seen what these players can do with the Scout, the MP9, the 5-7. So definitely a round for them not to be ruled out on.
Yeah, a bit of a pause being called here. It is a tech pause on the side of Zero Tenacity, so hopefully everything does get sorted out as soon as possible. But yeah, in terms of obviously the overall season, Zero Tenacity, like we mentioned, 4-2. And it's we sort of said, what, 5-3, you'll be able to make your way into playoffs with that if you have a good round difference. But 6-2 seem to be the guarantee of being able to obviously achieve that. So with obviously Zero Tenacity, if they can get the win here, they'll be 5-2. They'll be in a really good spot to be able to near enough confirm playoffs. Obviously, it's all about winning this game, and Hotu, no easy opponent to come up against.
It definitely, I feel like Hotu in the seasons that they have been in really have been a kind of a dominant team to face against. I feel like they've always shown success, especially, you know, when it does get to the later portions of the season. But yeah, I feel like that's something that you have to mention. Zero Tenacity, this game potentially could seal their fate. Obviously, their final game being against Brazilishki, I believe, who, you know, currently are 1-2, haven't had the kind of the greatest of openings regarding this season. But I feel like it's a similar kind of thing for a lot of these teams. You can't overlook anyone. And, you know, there's reasons for all these teams to be in the Challenger division, regardless of the opponent you're facing. You've got to treat them with the utmost respect, because you can just be punished with that complacency.
Should be coming back into it soon. I think it's the slight minor issue on the side of ZT. So yeah, I imagine all will be back underway as quick as possible. But obviously, if Hotu would get off to a very good start like they're already doing here, then Zero Tenacity are going to have to start to mount a comeback just to try to secure playoffs. And that's never going to be a fun situation to be in.
Obviously, it's an important round for Zero Tenacity here. They want to try and inflict as much damage as possible. The money for Hotu, it's not too bad, but they bring it to a 2-player surviving for Hotu. A lot of investment will need to be made, so I think Zero Tenacity, they find 2-3 kills in this round, and not going to be disappointed. Namana potentially questioning whether to work with that gap, and double ladder hold. One flashbang and it's completely ruled out.
I'm not able to hit any of the shots just yet. There you go. Swift still brought down low. There's a few players actually on the side of Hotu that are very low HP, but there might not be much chance to take any of them out as it's just Brute Monster remaining.
Lovely bit of movement there. Picks up the MP9. Try and make some money here. Case though, bit of a freebie. Did make it look a little tough. But yeah, a lot of players chipped down low. Fair bit of that came from the Mana Scout, but not enough for many kills to be converted. Brute Monster though will bring out the AWP straight away, and Gokushima follows suit.
Yeah, this is the Zero Tenacity buy that they've been waiting for. You obviously mentioned in the previous round they wanted to inflict a lot of damage just to sort of keep the Hotu economy at bay. So hopefully they can reset them as quick as possible. But they're in a good financial situation for now.
Mizuxa might be aware of the player deep. There is a gap in that window smoke. And then Brute Monster utilizes it perfectly. Eliminates Mizuxa. Do have the AWP of Gokushima already deep towards apartments. Nitzy going to be pushing through here. Kyofo just repositioned. Now they're going to be aware that a player has dropped, but certainly will now. Kyofo doing a good job to keep himself alive, and AVN will rotate through. The timing on the spot of the player on Van, not perfect. Molotov going to keep him there, though.
Oh, as he spread to Swift still very late. Brought down to 21 points of health.
Gokushima holding the lines in apartments for quite some time. Kyofo eventually finds him. Simka swings on through. Finds Swift still. First full buyout for Zero Tenacity, and they win it without a casualty. Potentially shows signs of things to come here of Zero Tenacity CT side.
Perfect stuff there from ZT. Just keeping everyone alive. Making sure the sort of limitations that they would have had, sort of the head armor, the fuse kits, util here, all there. They're all just bought up now. So this is the perfect bite for them. No AWP on the side of Hotu. Brute once again tested, but hits the first shot, able to back away, no problem. Let's player spotted, but not much damage really dealt. Hotu are going to be hitting towards this A-bomb site. This is going to be the final exec that they're going for, but Simka towards stairs could get overlooked. Finds Swift still.
Brute Monster holds the lines, eliminates Nitzy, and it's just on Case now. 58 points of health. Namana elevates himself up, takes him down, and second round found. Zero Tenacity, they're looking good here on the CT side. We spoke about their end goal being to reset Hotu as quick as possible. They've achieved that goal in 2, as it will just be the eco now. A third round should be on the board here for Zero Tenacity.
It's going to be interesting to see the changes that Hotu have made in the sort of break between Season 7 and Season 8. See what they can achieve. They're one of the teams that we were looking at last season to sort of be able to try to take the crown, but fell a bit sooner than they wanted at the quarterfinals.
Nice start here though. Hotu finding 2 picks here, retrieving that weapon, have given them a real chance to work with. AVN just sat behind this smoke waiting. Obviously we have got Mizuxa very deep here. They're going to be splitting towards A. Namana with so much weight on his shoulders here. Does have an opponent coming from Palace. Something he needs to be aware about. Nitzy going to be peeking soon. It's all about timing here for Namana. Goes down by Nitzy. 4 versus 2 now. The site thoroughly under the control of Hotu.
Yeah, in a normal buy, this would be pretty much be conceded already from Zero Tenacity, but they are just up against the Eco. But it's all falling apart. They haven't really had any even gunfights. The remaining players on Hotu haven't taken a single bullet of damage.
Great response though from Hotu.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just the initial mid pressure, getting those even kills, finding the player towards connector, and then just playing the long game. Timing's great onto the Palace player as well, and then you've just got 4v2. You've got players with weapons, and as long as Hotu play it like they normally would, they're gonna win that.
Zero Tenacity potentially stunned from that last round for Hotu. Not only is it affected their economy, potentially the mentality. You know, against pistols, it shouldn't be around. Zero Tenacity are losing, and especially with such an important game for them. Potentially need to reevaluate the playstyle against these Ecos.
Yeah, tactical pause called, seeing what they're going to be discussing, and by the looks of things, the double orb is what they've opted for. Simka just left on a deagle.
We've seen what players in the Challenger League though can do with these deagles, so you understand why.
AVN being able to find the first kill just through instincts alone. Gyofo towards Shaw, almost gets caught out, but readjusts well, and yeah, here we go. We can see some of these orbs stepping up already. Gokushima does take down Brute Monster though, able to double up against the deagle of Gyofo. He does take him down, and also able to retrieve that second orb.
A nice response here from ZT. Will be a full investment from Hotu. Somewhat back and forth here. Slight limitations regarding Mizuxa. Similarly, Case Tech 9 in hand. It's not too pretty. Essentially just going to be opting for a bit of a casual A hit here. I like the aggression from Namana as he peeks into Palace. Oh, nice ramp aggression. Simka does find one. Namana eliminates Nitzy. Simka needs to get his gun out. Oh, the Tech 9 not working out too well. Gokushima will find one. 2 versus 4. Swift Steel pushes through the smoke as well. Deals a lot of damage, but no kill found. Swift Steel. Swing could be perfect as he gets a double. It's a 2-on-2 now. Somewhat of a chance. Obviously, both the Hotu players have been chipped down to half.
You can see Hotu are very paranoid that these sort of flanks are coming in. This aggression is going to come back in from ZT, but they were very, very slow to rotate. Brute Monster is just holding the cross. A lot slower played around now. At what point will Brute Monster start to consider they could have headed towards B, and that could be the timing caught out on his hold.
Nice from Brute Monster though. Let's find one. Gyofo can just swing here on the plant. We'll do just that. Let's find the frag onto Swift Steel. 4-4, and we're expecting once again a pistol investment here from Hotu. Zero Tenacity do have another chance against the pistols here. Hopefully no mistakes will be made as seen in the last. Simco.
I mean, these are things that Zero Tenacity have to make sure they sort of tighten up on. If you're up against the Eco, you want to make it to playoffs. These are the rounds that you just got to not only win, you've got to try to win it as cleanly as possible.
Obviously, we speak about how round difference does have such a big impact. Brute Monster. Go for a bit of a lucky no-scope.
Brute Monster finding that one there. Was again taking down the initial. Just these final 2 players. This is around there. Yeah, Zero Tenacity will win. But like I said, they've got to win it cleanly. You're at a point where you're in a 5 versus 2 now. You've got to be looking to keep all 5 alive. Don't want to overstay your mark at all and give up an easy kill.
And they shouldn't lose anyone. You know, just hold the kind of respective angles. There's no real need to lose a life. AVN should find this kill every day of the week. Simple stuff. Doesn't even take any damage. Nitzy as well. Forced into mana. Sometimes when you do overcomplicate those 5 versus 2s, you know, apply potentially a little bit too much pressure. That's when you can get caught out. But no, Zero Tenacity just held their ground, worked out well. The lead has been taken from them now, and since they've been out on the full buys, Charlie, they have won 5 out of the last 6 rounds, and one of them obviously against that eco that we mentioned before. So Zero Tenacity, they're looking sharp against the full buys of Hotu. Can they keep it going though?
That is going to be the goal. No AWP for Gokushima once again. Just these 4 AKs and the Galil. I'm leaning more towards this B side of the map. Yeah, we've not really much pressure towards A. It's just Nitzy holding it quite passive.
AVN here. Very deep. Could catch up Mizuxa. Obviously, Util slowly draining for both sides. They're going to try and take some control towards middle now. Timing on the nade for Simka not perfect. Brute Monster is in a nice position though. Dodges the flashes and finds the initial kill. Great find there from Brute Monster. Simka does get one. Gokushima has made his position known. And once again, Zero Tenacity, they opt for a similar playstyle in that 5 versus 2. Decide to back away. Brute Monster though, potentially a little bit too hungry. Gets caught out by Gokushima. A lovely shot with the AK there. So 4 on 3 now. Hotu, they do have the chance, but a kill needs to go their way soon. Gokushima's the one to find it. Takes down Simka in such a deep position here now. Rotations have to be made. We could have seen, in fact, Hotu just decide to lean towards B there. It would have been perfect.
But instead, Zero Tenacity are respecting this Hotu side. They're giving up a lot of control.
Ooh, great reactions there from Namana. Quick flick onto Gokushima. Man advantage. 2-man advantage now for Zero Tenacity. It's all on Swift still. And Namana takes him down with ease. AWP can be saved as well. So once again,
like Zero Tenacity, we've seen a couple of the rounds where they're massively favoured and somehow Hotu bring it back just for Zero Tenacity to still win it. But there are a lot of times where Hotu aren't going to make that same mistake. They're going to bring these rounds back and they are going to convert them. So Zero Tenacity, they do still need to be a bit wary about that. Make sure that they don't make these sort of little mistakes, lose these picks too easily again.
once again, it is the pistols in play. Nice find from Brute Monster, though. Eliminates Swift Steal. Namana, what a shot that.
Yeah, Namana is looking pretty clean this game. A lot of his kills obviously being found towards this ticket position, but hitting some really nice shots despite a lot of the time being pretty low HP. But he's normally a player, Fred, that we look at and think he's going to be one of them bringing up the rear a lot of the time.
Yeah, a bit of an anchor.
Yeah, and just bringing a lot of the more supportive aspects to the team. But in this one, certainly having a lot of impact just in terms of the fragging department alone.
It's something we kind of mentioned in the last game. Sometimes player can just be feeling it, and that is the difference maker. But they've all been, you know, very clean taps. It seems as though Namana's just clearly eaten, you know, decent breakfast.
One can go down for Hotu. They're going to allow that. Not going to force them off just yet, but Namana is starting to push in now. Not much support. This Zero Tenacity side's very split, and you can see it's starting to get punished. Kyofo does get taken down. 4-on-2, turned to a 1v1 now.
Yeah, Brute Monster with the AWP in hand as well. Going to be facing off Case in quite an unfavoured angle, and we're going to see it go against him. Case does clutch it up. 4 kills in that round. And Hotu, they do find their 5th.
It's literally what I said, Fred, there. It's just these rounds where Zero Tenacity are having these man advantages, these 2-man advantages, but it just feels like they're a bit disjointed. They lose that. It becomes even once again, and from there, luckily, in previous rounds, they've still been able to convert it, but Hotu, finally, they do best them in that aspect.
Yeah, it does seem like potentially that confidence did turn to complacency. 4 versus 2. We saw 2 players swinging from CT with, you know, poor rotations from the other. It just, the timing wasn't right. Potentially should have just seen everyone wait, go as a real unit, but no. That's definitely what caught them out. Yeah, Hotu completely, you know, took the opportunity that I'd say Zero Tenacity gave them. Nice from Simka, though. Does take down Mizuxa. Gokushima, though, through the smoke and through the triple box. Takes down Simka. 4 versus 2 here.
It's Zero Tenacity's time. Try to make one of these outlandish rounds go their way, but Case taking down Kyofo, basically just going to be cementing it. AVM going to be trying to keep a hold of this M4, and we will be leveled up once again.
That we're going to see an investment, though, from Zero Tenacity in the next, so Hotu, they can take the lead now. I wonder if we're going to see a bit of a hunt here from Hotu. AVN needs to be very careful. Has spotted him. Simple shot, but now we're going to be seeing a bit more of a hunt. Case pushing through apps. Swift still getting aggressive towards CT, and Gokushima just going to be sending some supportive flashes. Ooh, missed flashbang.
Really going to start to get crunched on here.
Let's find one, in fact.
It might be just enough to get away, but no. Case on top of the truck just catches AVN off before he's able to make it around the wall.
I definitely think that's worthwhile. Yes, they lose, 2 weapons, fair bit of utility, and the armor, but an AWP in the hands of a player like Brute Monster can single-handedly win you around like that. So definitely think it was worthwhile for that hunt, especially because of the fact they had a little bit of money to work with as well. It wasn't as though we've got Mac 10s or anything like that for Hotu. Buy still strong.
Just an eco hit from ZT. A lot of short presence.
Now Mizuxa with a lot of work to do. Let's find his second. We need another flashbang to come through. Flash is good. We'll find his third. Eventually goes down. These 2 USPs surely aren't going to achieve much. They do find 1 kill. They drop Case down fairly low, but Hotu do secure their 7th.
Yeah, taking the lead once again in this series. Haven't done so for a while, but back in the driver's seat.
Charlie, remember, this all came from that 4 versus 2 that Zero Tenacity lost.
Yeah, well, it should have been, I think it would have been 7 to 4 after that round. Yeah, completely different storyline now.
Just goes to show you
again, very aggressive here towards the B apartments.
I like the confidence. Great flash there. Connector control has been taken by Hotu. I think they should be falling back and hitting the A-bomb site. 2 in con. Swift steal as well towards under. Certainly not going to be an easy round for Zero Tenacity. Definitely going to need both Namana and Simka to step up. Brute Monster falls. Simka does find Case. They're aware that there's at least 1 more player towards connector jungle area. These players have split.
Is the bomb.
Devastating as it does go down. 48 seconds now.
Issue is it is just Namana defending it. He has no utility. He's going to have to all be on gunfights, but the reposition is good.
Nice movement there from Swift Steel. Try and make things a bit tough for Namana. Now it's just Swift Steel in the 1 versus 3. AVN is out of the question for now. 20 seconds now.
Simka obviously being very low. Flashbang towards CT, but the bomb is getting stuck. No swing coming on through.
Swift Steel. It's going to be tough. Ooh, does find his first opponent, but Kyofo with the trade. 7 to 7 now. We've had 14 rounds of play. And not a single round between the 2. And as we head into the last, I think we're going to be seeing slight limitations on the side of Zero Tenacity. Not a similar story for Hotu, though, as it should be a perfect buy.
Yeah, right now, Fred, we haven't actually seen... It's quite a strange playstyle that we've seen from ZT, especially towards the A-bomb site. A lot of the time, they're giving up a lot of control, and that seems to be a situation a lot of the time with teams towards window. Obviously, now with the bench being added, or a while ago, I suppose, the bench being added, just due to how easily the T's can make their way into that position. But ZT are giving up so much control that they're getting caught out towards connector time after time.
Yeah, definitely. They need to be a little bit more cautious, because when you do give up that control, it allows these deep flanks, these deep lurks, and Usually they're gaining a kill 9 times out of 10. Opening kill though goes the way of Hotu. Mizuxa with an important find. Connector once again under the control of Hotu. Mizuxa might go pushing through here. Simka needs to be aware of this. A flashbang could come over, but no util sent. Simka only able to find one though. His case with the trade. 3-on-3. Namana once again very deep here towards ramp. Wow, players in deep positions though. We've already got Case towards CT. AVN needs to be wary of this. If he doesn't take Case down, I think this round's already over. As Kyofo on a very deep flank of his own. AVN does find one. Now just going to drop some util to delay. And this will allow Kyofo to get deep in the back lines now. Close to getting to himself towards ramp. But Hotu, they're taking this early control towards jungle. Swift still very deep now.
Yeah, play up towards under Palace, I believe that's where Gokushima is. Holding CT for now, takes down AVN before Kyofo can even strike, but even the position advantage, Gokushima just too fast for it, and Hotu do win the half, 8-7.
Yeah, and I feel like that's just a little bit of a taster of what Gokushima can do on the AWP. So clinical. Top of the whole server currently. And now on the CT side, potentially the more comforting side when using the AWP.
Yeah, it certainly does feel like that round, that 4 versus 2, allowed Hotu to get back into it. It felt like they were brimming with a lot more confidence. And the round straight after they won that was quite a dominant one. Very quick with it. Instant finds. Allowed them to win that one. It did feel like that's what allowed them to come back into this game a bit more. So the mistakes that I mentioned time and time again seem like they could be happening for Zero Tenacity. It really did spell disaster.
ZT now on the T side, losing the half, but still very close for them. Obviously, a map like Mirage, still CT favored, but you know it is very close. It's not a dominant CT sided map like the likes of Nuke, Overpass. It's a little bit closer, but it's their time on the T side. Ooh, nice jump out there. Kyofo trying to make things tough, but early kill found. Simka. Great adjustment onto Mizuxa, switches to that USP. They're going to try and take some control towards CT here. Flashbang coming through from Namana. Ooh, just misses its mark, in fact. Obviously does blind one of the 3 players, but potentially not enough. And now Swift still ready for the cleanup towards stairs. Does get a double. 2 versus 3 now. Simka and Brute Monster with a tall task on their hands. Simka does find one. Brute Monster as well chiming in. And now things are in their favor. Obviously Nitzy against 2 players tagged down. And a 1 versus 1 now. Nice from Brute Monster. I
think there was a defuse kit. I'm not sure if there was one that could have been retrieved from Hotu, but yeah, that's a big round, big statement there from Zero Tenacity in that tricky situation, but they do come out on top, and now the question on everyone's minds, what's Hotu going to do? They're a team that do normally love a second round force buy, but nothing invested other than a P250 yet.
I don't think it's really worth the risk. It's a level playing field. It's not as though they're trying to keep the lead or trying to claw it back. It's 8-8 right now. Just give Zero Tenacity a free round.
Yeah, nothing's free in the SCL though, is it? We've seen a number of ecos. I mean, especially from Zero Tenacity, they're a team that I feel like we've cast many times and seen them win.
It's the 5-7s.
Surprising amount of eco. It's not even that. I still remember this round on Vertigo.
The USPs.
Well, I'm sure you remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember that run boost with the Zeus?
Yeah, the run Zeus, as I believe we called it.
That was pretty unbelievable and just spiraled around out of nowhere from that.
Certainly can be done. With a B stack as well. Feel like potentially the only stack with these pistols that can make things work. Straight away things are looking nice as Gokushima finds one. 2 of his teammates do fall, make that 3. Gokushima and Nitzy all that remain. AVN coming from apartments. Does take down 1. And Gokushima soon to follow. So that lead has been taken here now from Zero Tenacity. Ever slight though, and it's going to be a strong buy from Hotu. Do we see the glass cannon from Gokushima though? Favors the AWP heavily. And that's the question. And here's the answer.
It's a risk, but something that could catch off Zero Tenacity. They'll know that the money isn't perfect on the side of Hotu. Potentially having an AWP in their midst could be a bit of a surprise.
Definitely a real difference maker as well for Hottu. Yeah, the util's not perfect, as you know, majority have prioritized weaponry over util. We see a lot of aggression towards apps. Nitzy already tucked in. Similarly, this ramp aggression from these three individuals. Namana could find this pick though. Simple stuff onto Nitzy. Can upgrade that Galil. Ooh, Mizuxa gets lucky as Kyofo emerges.
All level here. 4-on-4.
The AWP of Gokushima holding such a key line.
Utility, though, massively favouring Zero Tenacity. Gokushima getting a little more aggressive.
It's all about timing here, though. Having a little bit of a check towards under, and similarly looking towards TV. I don't think he spotted the players crossing. AVN, though, needs to try and find Mizuxa here if they want a confident and successful A-pop. Mizuxa, if he finds the opener, it's going to be very nice. It's just tucked away in the corner. Does go unchecked initially, but AVN still finds him. 4 versus 2. Ooh, nice find from Gokushima through the smoke. It's going to be a tough bomb to retrieve.
Yeah, do finally pick it up. 3 versus 2 here. The bomb can go down, being planted by Simka.
Gokushima, without armor, this nade gonna do a lot of damage. Dropped down to 39. It wasn't even a perfect nade. Seemed a little too deep there, but that's the lack of armor for you. Zero Tenacity, they find double digits now. They're looking strong on this T side, but they need to keep things going because Hottu, you can't let them get the economy going. That's when things can get a little bit scary.
Yeah, not sure if there's any weapons for Zero Tenacity to pick up because they do still have a couple of Galils. One's been upgraded. AVN just going to be sticking with his for the time being. Yeah, like you mentioned, double digits now found from Zero Tenacity. I can't imagine we're going to see a buy around these two weapons. We could, but I think maybe that's a little too risky. Potentially giving up 12 to Zero Tenacity. I don't know if it's worth it, so it will just be the half buy around these weapons. Nothing too costly being invested. So yeah, Hottu can still comfortably get a buy on the next.
Yeah, and Gokushima going for an aggressive peek here. That's the kill found and a weapon can be retrieved. But potentially Zero Tenacity, this needs to be their Goku. They know the orbs towards Palace. It will be a very long rotation. Let's just hit the B-bomb site.
Yeah, they certainly do have the majority of their team towards that side of the map, but there are 3 defenders here for Hottu.
Slowly creeping forward though. Nitzy will drop the smoke, and the 5-7s behind these smokes can work wonders. Simka does find one before falling. Swift still with a great double. That is the bomb dropped as well. 2-man advantage here, but Kyofo does get one back. They drop the smoke in the center of the bomb site. Will allow him to try and pick up this bomb. Next step though, planting it. A very difficult task. Kyofo is going to be aware of Swift steal here. Ooh, this flank from Mizuxa, so important. Does find one.
Kyofo does bait the shot out of Gokushima. Starting to close in on his position, but Gokushima's aware. Takes a more passive angle.
Kyofo really going to struggle here. Only 24 points of health. Realistically, wants to find a pick before trying to punch in the digits. 17 seconds now. Might go down here as he tries to find the pick. Yeah, Gokushima. After the shots are heard, he repositions. And Hottu, they find 9. Remember, Charlie, that was the half bite. It was just these 2 saved weapons. And things worked out perfectly for them. Swift steals double. So key there. And obviously, Gokushima's opener.
Bit of a disconnect right now, though. Hopefully, we'll jump straight back into the action because this is a game that, I mean, we spoke about the last one as well. We've sort of been gifted with some really competitive games. And I mean, that's what we love to see. Is like I mentioned, we are sort of approaching that midsection of the overall league. This is where it really is do or die. But we've got a completely different storyline for both of these teams. Zero Tenacity, who are nearing the end of their season. After this game, they'll only have 1 remaining. Whereas Hotu, after this one, they'll still have 7.
Yeah, Hotu, obviously, you know, with this being early doors in their season, it's a lot less pressure. Obviously, you know, they're going to want to get as many wins on the board, want to secure their place in playoffs, but it's not as though they've already got 2 losses. It's not as though this, you know, a loss here could be potentially the end of their playoff run. You know, I feel like that is the beauty, I guess, of starting your season, I guess, a little late. Obviously, though, you are playing catch-up.
Yeah, interestingly, Hotu have never finished the season of the regular, or at least of the regular season, with a worse record than 6-2.
Yeah, they've looked good so far, and I feel like they're going to look good this season as well. Already showing so many great signs of life here on Mirage.
Bit of a Palace pop here from Zero Tenacity, and it's massively falling apart. Broom Monster does grab one back.
We finally will see Simka try and push through. Window smoke's faded. Case in a very nice position here. Simka needs to be aware of this. Ooh, does get 1. Second as well. Has been found. Not the third, though, as Gokushima eliminates. Nitzy holding the Palace swing. And 10th has been found now for Hotu. They level things up. Ooh, and it's going to be Hotu's turn with the double AWP in play. And I feel like potentially that might just be kind of a personal decision from Nitzy. 7 and 14. Not been performing to a standard that potentially they were ready for. And sometimes you do just need the open hand. I feel like everyone's had those situations. You're struggling with a rifle. You're just going to bring out the AWP, get posted up on an angle, and just play things quite comfortably. And you really understand why.
Yeah, up against the Eco in this one, though. Gokushima doesn't really want to stay towards mid for too long. He knows how overwhelming it can get there.
Simple stuff for Swift still, though, as he does find 2. Mizuxa will eliminate Namana, and Case swinging from Con finds Simka. So Hotu, they take the lead now. And Zero Tenacity, potentially the weak performance that we saw from the end of their CT side could cost them this game.
They've got to put that at the back of their minds for now, though. Still plenty of rounds left to be played in this one.
A difficult task to do, though. You know, 1 round potentially defining their whole playoffs, their whole season 8. You know, we're just watching it. They're living it right now. Simka, though, kicks things off nicely. Does find Case. Swift steal. Oh, a perfect swing. Gets a double. AVM with the trade, but 3-on-3 now. Nice nade. Mizuks are searching for something here towards Connector. The smoke fades soon. Very confident that there's no pressure towards A, as he was kind of just pushing up the stairs backwards.
Simka does spot Mizusa. Not able to find it, but Gokushima has been heard. Kyofo takes him down. The B-bomb site open for the take-in.
Gokushima, a player that realistically, we've seen him hit those shots in the past. We saw him kind of hit that shot when he was playing from under Balk. You know, you might get the spring on him, you might get the kind of the jump on him, but doesn't mean you're taking him down. And that's where we see Kyofo being so clinical there, making sure he connects that bullet, because there's always a chance when Gokushima's on the AWP. Oh! Talk about lovely flicks. Mizuxa showing us one onto Kyofo. AVN now, 1 versus 1. Does have a Molotov to work with. Gonna force Mizuxa out. Surely that would have been heard, but it doesn't matter. Nice off angle from Mizuxa. Wins Hotu the round. 12th has been found, and it surely should just be an eco here from ZT. Hotu, 13 on the horizon.
But Fred, we spoke about defining rounds. There's another one right there. 1 versus 3. Given up. Zero Tenacity had their chance to come back into it. Hotu, their money would have been broken. obviously all hypotheticals, as Masusa does somehow win the 1 versus 3, and it's another round that Hotu have no rights in winning.
Yeah, definitely not. You know, Zero Tenacity, that's 2 important rounds that they should have won. And it goes elsewhere, it goes the other way. Nice opener from Namana, but Gokushima and Mizuxa find 3 combined. And Hotu, they're looking destined to close out this game. They seem so clinical here. Regardless of the numbers that they've got to work with, it seems as though they've got the individuals to, you know, really get them out of these tough situations. But I don't think it just comes down to the success that these individuals, you know, have on the side of Hotu. I feel like Zero Tenacity, some of these rounds really are being a little bit misplayed. And it's devastating to see, because Zero Tenacity, they're a side that we've seen here in the SCL for, you know, in the top division every single season. They've looked brilliant. But a couple rounds potentially defining their playoff run.
Yeah, really do need to try to sort of sharpen up a little bit, but maybe just a little bit burnt out at the end of the regular season, or maybe they thought they've done enough.
Zero Tenacity now, full buy is out. We've got the open brute monster. It's a tough round here for Zero Tenacity. A loss here gives Hotu 15 match point, and it's going to be very difficult for potentially Zero Tenacity to come back into it. Hotu on match point with 5 opportunities, potentially could be just enough for them to close it out. Obviously, it's not all said and done. Now.
That's the scary thing. If ZT aren't able to convert this round, then I mean, what will that mean? 15 will be given up. Or at least you imagine so. It is the full loss bonus for Zero Tenacity, so having this sort of extra bit of cash in the bank, around 600 on everyone, is going to be pretty key, as well as obviously if they do get that bomb down.
Yeah, we could see a full buy in the next Zero Tenacity. Obviously, that will be, you know, very risky for them, but I feel like if they do lose this one, they've got to take that risk. But we mentioned the kind of the AWPing battle initially. Brute Monster and Gokushima, both really key players, but it seems as though Gokushima has just had a little bit of a one-up.
I mean, Brute Monster initially was the top performing player in the server. Yeah, he couldn't really seem to miss a shot. But yeah, it definitely has slowed down sort of the mid part of the game and haven't really seen him since.
Potentially it's been that, you know, these close rounds, a bit of a lack of economy. Maybe Brute Monster hasn't been able to, you know, get the AWP out with full utility, a sidearm as well. And although it might not have that much impact, you know, you might play ever so slightly, you know, differently if you don't have a smoke, an extra flash, a P250, because you're not going to be 100% comfortable. Very passive here from Zero Tenacity, though. Losing the opening pick could just be enough for Hotu to kind of spiral this round. Finally taking this mid control, though. Ooh, swift steal. Does find one before falling.
Yeah, there should be no reason he's even able to find one. There's so many players on the side of Zero Tenacity, but it's really starting to fall apart now. Namana, ace required to be able to win this round. That bomb plant I was talking about is looking like a bit of a distant dream at this point, and Namana does fall.
I wonder, do we even see Zero Tenacity attempt to buy in this one?
I don't think you can. I think you're just giving up too much. There is a tactical pause being called from Namana. Going to try to rally the troops, but You've got what Brute Monster can get Galil out, AVN Galil. I mean, the rest can get AKs, but it feels like we need that all from Brute Monster. It feels like we need to be able to see him on his best weapon, but we're not going to. It's going to be the Force Thread. This is really make or break here.
Yeah, and I think Zero Tenacity, they've, really tried and tested. They've really kind of flushed out the strat book, and it seemingly hasn't worked in their favor. We've seen the Palace pops. We've seen the slow plays towards middle. We've seen the A takes. Potentially, we just need to go back to the classic. A bit of a B rush. Try and catch Hotu off guard, because you've opted for a force in this round. If you lose it, it's over. It's going to be so tough for them. They'd have pistols in the next. Potentially some Mac 10s with the loss bonus, but it's not going to be great.
If there is a team, though, that always seems to be able to find a way out of these horrible situations, it really is Zero Tenacity. Time and time again, we've seen countless comebacks from them. Countless round wins on buys that should never go their way.
Let's see if they can provide in this one. Mid has been taken. Split through top, mid, and under. But Hotu, happy to give it up. Allowing Zero Tenacity to take it with so much utility. Obviously, util being a bit of a problem area for Hotu as well. One smoke, 4 flashes. Not going to be perfect to hold off a site take. And that's why we see this aggression come through. Ooh. Deep push there from Azukza. Inflicts a little bit of damage and also gains that intel. It is going to be this B split though. Especially as we have got a player in ladder. That smoke, in fact, might hinder the CTs. It allows Kyofo to get fairly aggressive. Nitzy, though, with an important trade. Needs to keep himself alive towards short. Does find one. Kyofo finally emerges, and now it's all on AVN. 1 versus 2. Gokushima, though, well aware. Takes him down, and Hotu, they find 15, and this one could be over now. Charlie, we mentioned a risky force in the last. It's going to have to be, once again, another force for Zero Tenacity. Doubt we're going to even see a single AK. Galil's surely going to be in play here. Namana and AVN, though. No care for util in this round. They want the strongest weaponry they can afford.
Yeah, you can't blame them for that, but we haven't really seen much from anybody. It feels like Namana has been the only real consistent player, and he's not even top of the scoreboards for Zero Tenacity, but everybody's having such a tough time, Fred. This could be it, though.
Yeah, Hotu, not only do they have the man advantage in this round, they've got the util, they've got the positioning. Zero Tenacity, yeah, you've taken control towards middle, but where are you going with that? You've got 3 pieces of util, a smoke and a flash and a molly on Kyofo. Brute Monster, it seems though although he's got deep towards share, might be a little trapped. AVN, though, an important find onto Case. Might be...
Yeah, mistakes needed to be made from Hotu if Zero Tenacity are to win this round, and that's one given up. Case, here's another potentially, but Swift still best Brute Monster and reclaims man advantage. These steps would have been heard. Gokushima should be fully aware of this. He is getting aggressive. 1 missed shot, and this could really spell disaster, and it does. Gokushima does fall 2 on 2 here. AVM with a nice shot onto Nitzy, and it's the low HP Swift still.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic there for Gokushima not to connect that bullet. Kyofo very crisp there. Orb can be saved. Zero Tenacity, they needed some mistakes to be kind of found, I guess. Hotu had to misplay that, and the aggression ramp really unnecessary. It's 4 versus 3. You know you're going to be against a weaker buy regarding utility. We didn't need to see that push, but I guess it's a bit of a double-edged sword. You know, if they were poised towards B, that would have been so much control, so much information gathered. So you do understand it, but I think when you've got man advantage, no real risk. Potentially if it was a 4 versus 5 in favor of Zero Tenacity, then you might understand, okay, with disadvantage, we need to take a bit of a risk to win this round. You know, let's send at least one player towards ramp, gamble towards B, but no. They had the numbers and they threw it away.
Yeah, we have seen times where Hotu have sort of freely been allowed to take that ramp aggression. So potentially just one of the situations thinking, yeah, might be able to have another freebie here. So unfortunate stuff from Hotu, still definitely in the lead. Plenty of rounds left to play with. And at the end of the day, Fred, they win this round and that mistake means nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And even if it goes to OT, Hotu, if they win it in the end, doesn't matter about that ramp aggression. Yeah, it might be something to look at the demo, but it's all about the here and now. Will they be able to close it out in regulation, or can Zero Tenacity bring it to OT?
Isn't the perfect buy from Hotu. We mentioned their money wasn't perfect a couple of rounds back, and we're starting to see that come out in terms of their weapons. Kyofo playing with a bit of fire there. Yeah, doesn't want to peek into it. Gokushima has been playing this position towards B quite a lot of the time.
Ooh, nice from Case, though. Instant trade from Simca. We see this Palace
has to get himself in a bit more of the action. He's going to be leaving the MP9 and the 5-7 to try to defend. I think he realizes that, yeah, I can't just leave these players, but Mizusa does drop the bomb, gets a lot of information, and even if he goes down, it's delayed a lot of time.
He's just going to keep himself there, though. Doesn't need to fight at all. Gokushima now rotating through CT. This is going to be so tough. They've got 26 seconds to work with. So many different angles to think about. And Gokushima will be the finishing blow here. Hotu, they close it out 16-11. A convincing victory for them. Although things did seem a little bit rough initially, Hotu, they brought it back. It seemed as though Zero Tenacity, they were the ones to slow up there when it really, really mattered. But what a game from Hotu. They're going to be very, very happy with that result. Obviously, as you mentioned, first game of the season for them. And they kind of kicked it off very nicely.
Yeah, exactly. It's a perfect way for Hotu to be able to make their mark once again in the season, beating a team like Zero Tenacity, who, like we said before, have had a pretty decent start to the season. They were 4-2 before that, now 4-3. So going to be a bit more of a challenge for them to make it into playoffs, but it is still perfectly achievable. But Hotu, yeah, great first game from them, taking down Zero Tenacity. Great looking start, and if they can continue to form like that, there's no reason why they can't another season, Fred, where they make it into playoffs. Only difference is obviously a bit slow to start in that game. It looked like they weren't massively finding their form early on, but we've seen it a number of times from teams in their first couple of games of the season. Seems like sort of the early game jitters, but yeah, Hotu once again found their footing, found their form, and ended up outlasting Zero Tenacity.
Yeah, obviously as well, if you look at the table, Charlie, Zero Tenacity, they're currently 9th, obviously 4-3, but their round difference is quite poor. It's only +1, and seeing as their real hopes to get through are going to come down to round difference, it's going to be tough. They're going to need a very convincing victory if there's much of a chance, because you look at the teams below them from 10th to 16th, some of these teams have only played 3 games, 4, 5 games. No one's even close to that 7, so it really does just go to show that Zero Tenacity, that loss there really could be kind of the be all and end all for their prospects of getting playoffs. It could be over now. Obviously, it is dependent on other teams' results, and there is still somewhat of a chance, but they're going to need a really convincing last game victory for them. But obviously, that has been it for tonight. There's been, 2 amazing, really close games. I feel like both really showed, the strengths of the teams here in the Challenger division. So if you guys have been enjoying, make sure to drop a follow on the Twitch and also the Twitter, so you guys get those updates about what games are being streamed and how the season's going so far. But as we go from the middle to the late portions of the season, playoffs just around the corner, this is kind of heating up to be such an electric season.